So if you're watching this, I probably directed you to this video. Maybe you asked me, how do you make Kartacze? Maybe you just ate some at my house, and here you go. Here's the instructional video. So these are delicious. These are pretty unique tasting. Even in Poland, the more popular version are called pyzy, and I think they're made with flour. These are not. So these are popular in the northeast of Poland, and it's probably like nothing you've ever tasted. So good luck and enjoy. All right, so for this recipe, we're using 20 pounds of potatoes. It's important to know how many pounds you're doing because we're going to use, for 20 pounds of potatoes, we're going to use 3 pounds of meat for this, and also about a pound of additional potatoes to boil separately for another reason. So ratios are going to be important. So peel the potatoes, and then separately peel an additional pound for the 20 pounds that I said. Put them away to be boiled. And now we're going to do meat. For 20 pounds, we're going to use 3 pounds of meat. You can use really anything you want. For my wife, for example, we're using meatless meatballs, but we used a pound of, ground chicken or whatever that was earlier. You want to season the 3 pounds of meat. Again, pretty much anything you want. We use margarine, salt, pepper. Sometimes we put other things. If you're asking for proportions of each, don't ask me. When I ask my mom, she says, whatever looks right. You also want, I guess, garlic, onions, and then you want to chop everything up. You want to mix the chopped onions and garlic with the meat. Put it aside. And then while you're doing that, you want to boil that 1 pound or so of additional potatoes. We're going to use those later. After that boils, you actually want to save the water. Yeah, this seems pretty strange, but yeah, you want to save the water. You want to keep it hot or boiling. We're going to use it later. Then those boiled potatoes, the 1 pound or so, you want to rice it. One more thing, which is bacon and onion, and that's going to go on top of the finished product. All right, so next you're going to need a potato grater. I got this one from Amazon a while back. Right now, I don't think it's available on Amazon. This is October 2019. I know about a week or two ago they were available on eBay. They're about $160, and you have to grate all the potatoes into this mush. Next, you take this potato mush, you put it into, and I'm not kidding, a cloth diaper. I also bought these on Amazon. A cloth diaper lets just the right amount of water out, and it's durable, more durable than cheesecloth. Actually, cheesecloth didn't work at all for me. So you squeeze out as much water as you can. I'm not worried that you're going to squeeze out too much. This is pretty hard to do. So squeeze out as much as you can. Make sure it's not too squishy, the potatoes. After you're done with that, start boiling some water. We like to put in salt in the water. That seasons the potatoes. Next, if you remember, you had that water from the other pound of potatoes that you boiled. Boil that water, and you're using that water because there's starch in it, and you need starch for this dish. And I know that this doesn't make any sense because you squeezed water out of these potatoes, but for some reason you must put more water in, the starchy water, boiling water, into the potatoes. That, I think it like extracts this additional starch from the potatoes, and it makes the potatoes sticky. You want this potato mass that is a little bit sticky. So just kind of look at the video. That will give you an idea of what the consistency of the potatoes should be. It's hard to describe. You can see it for yourself. It's like, I don't know, wet cement, I guess. Pretty thick, viscous cement. Now the potatoes we riced, um, we now add to the other potatoes. This is optional. You can add them in. I guess that makes the potatoes a little bit softer. Um, in the end, to be honest with you, I've done it both ways. I can't really tell a difference. My mom says the boiled potatoes make the final product a little softer, more pleasant to eat. So finally, we make the actual cartache, what looks like a dirty snowball, a lot of people have said. You take the potatoes, you make it into a little pancake, you take the meat, put it in, make it into a meatball, round everything out. Just gonna look at what my mom's doing. And then we normally what we do is we put it on a flat surface of some sort because we want everything to start boiling at once. So then she's going to do that with all 20 or so pounds of potatoes and the 3 pounds of meat that we've prepared ahead of time. And while my mom is doing that, if by now you're thinking this isn't worth it, it is. And if you have leftovers, actually my favorite is the next day or two, or these are good for like a week at least in the fridge. You cut them up and you fry them afterwards, and they're even better. So just remember that. So obviously be careful putting them in. It's boiling water. Do try to keep the water boiling. If it's boiling too violently, turn the heat down. You don't want the cartaccia to start falling apart. You do want to keep mixing them and be careful doing that as well. They do fall apart pretty easily, so you want to be gentle. So now that cartaccia are in the water, do try to get the water to boil as fast as possible, then turn it down, like I said. Keep it boiling, and once the cartaccia start floating on top, that's when you set your timer to 30 minutes. Once they start floating, 30 minutes later, they're done. Okay, so this is what cartaccia look like. I know I went pretty quickly. I don't want this video to be too long. Um, Now I just put them on a plate. I like to put bacon and onion on top, and I enjoy them. Enjoy.